was thinking too. All right. First off, I just want to say thanks for having me. I apologize. RAD Doug Taylor really wanted to be here, but he's in the process of training 70 new teachers and professionals that we have, we're welcoming in at Redmond High School, and so they're going through their training right now. So he wasn't able to get away, but I do know he wanted me to express that he was very grateful for the invitation, and he regrets not being able to come. So just wanted to go ahead and say that first and foremost. Second thing, John mentioned it, give a shameless plug. I know a lot of you guys are playing in the Chamber of Commerce tournament here on Friday. We have another tournament here on Saturday that'll be for Redmond High School football. We'll have our kids out there, give you an opportunity to throw, punt, catch out in the course. We got our kids out there. So if nothing else, it should be a great time. So, if anybody's interested in playing on Saturday, we're hosting that event, and so it should be a good deal. It's a four-man scramble. I can tell you I am a terrible golfer, so I will be professionally driving around just shaking hands, and I'll be on the golf cart most of the time. But I'd love to see as many of you guys as possible. Some of you guys I've been fortunate enough to kind of meet throughout my time in Redmond. Some of you guys I'm just meeting today, and really look forward to that. For those of you guys that have never met me, my name is Brent Washe. As you know, I'm the head football coach at Redmond High School. I'm very fortunate to be in that position I am. Just a little bit about me. My dad died when I was 8. We were living up in Pennsylvania. My dad died when I was 8. My parents split when I was 13. My mom and my stepdad. Okay, they split when I was 13, and we moved to Texas. And so I was one of those kids that was really kind of raised by coaches. My mom worked evenings, from 3 to 7. So we kind of caught in passing a lot of times. She did the best she could. She was trying to raise a young man, but I can tell you a lot of that work, was done by Coach Bob Briscoe, Jimmy Crawford, and just a slew of other coaches at Richland High School in North Richland Hills, Texas. Those men really kind of helped to guide me, keep me on the right path. And when I think about the various ways that could have went, and through some very formative years, I'm just super grateful that they invested in me, and that they cared enough to make sure that I kept walking the right path. Because of them, I'm able to stand here before you guys as such a great group, and talk like this. And I'm even more fortunate that I'm able to kind of pay it forward into the next generation. I'm not going to sit up here and pretend that that winning isn't something that's important. It's extremely important. It's one of our goals. It's one of our main objectives. But I'm really proud to say that as a program, we've got a staff of 10 coaches, including John, who obviously all of you know, that are just committed to building young men of character as we are to winning football games. Okay. We strive to make the process of character development, leadership development, an intentional process at Redmond. Okay, and I'm with this group, I know that's something that I really hope that you guys can appreciate, and know, with the amount of investment that you guys have had in Redmond High School, we're trying to pay it forward in different ways other than just what you see on the scoreboard at the end of the day on a Friday night. As a program, one of the things that we do, and one of the ways we make that an intentional process is we have what we call our leadership council. Okay, each year, each grade level, from freshmen to seniors, they elect 3 kids that represent them. Okay, and through that we have a process that goes all throughout the summer. Okay, we're there from pretty much 8 in the morning to 10 Monday through Thursday every day in the summer, and then those kids stay 1 to 2 days a week, and we go through just like intentional leadership development training. It's usually about anywhere from 30 minutes to 40 minutes. This is something that started a few years back. when it was like, I got tired of hearing other coaches say, I don't have any leaders on my team. I got this. And I'm going, well, what are we doing to develop these guys? At what point, besides complaining and saying this, are we taking steps to make sure that those kids know what's expected of them and how to help their teammates and how to be in that position? So that's a proactive step that we started taking. Okay, one of the things that we really help them to do is try to identify a unified vision. What do we want this program to be? What's our goal? What can we all rally around? So they help to kind of identify that. We talk about things like our core values. And so, we want things on our team that are important to our kids. We can talk about it as coaches all we want to, and we can identify, but ultimately it's their team. So we help to guide them to identify those pieces that are important to them, and we call those our belief statements. Okay, things like we believe in ourselves, we believe in our teammates, we believe in our will to win, we believe in doing the right thing because it's the right thing to do, our leaders, like said, they define the process as integrity is important to them, competitiveness, and through those we develop these belief statements. And then here, actually, today at 4:00, our principal is going to talk, and then after that, those guys will have the opportunity to share with our team. So that's one of the great things that we're able to do. Throughout the year, in addition to the leadership training that we try to do, one thing that's important, we spend a lot of time talking about X's and O's with our kids, obviously, okay, but we also invest time in character development, okay. I know John's led these sessions, I've led these sessions, but we take our entire team and we break them up between freshmen, sophomores, juniors, and seniors, and we try to give lessons to them that are outside of football. Okay, for an incoming freshman, that might be something like, hey, what's it mean to be a role player on our team? Okay, to a sophomore, I've given lessons. Just to give you a little backstory, one of my players one time decided he wanted to date my daughter, okay? And so I was excited. He was a great young man and still is, But he showed up at my door and sent her a text message that he's there. And I said, no, this is, So, and I'm like, well, these kids, they don't know any better, and so we all went through a lesson on, hey, how to knock on the door, how to shake a hand, and how to carry on a casual conversation, in a situation like that. And so, those are some of the little things that we try. That's a life lesson, Seniors, we talk about. Things like the FAFSA, things that are going to pertain to them for the SATs, ACTs, some struggles they might have going through school. So we try to break it out and make it something that pertains to them. But we do that about once a week with our kids, and it's a time investment, but it's something that we feel like is important. Taking the time to talk about things like integrity and commitment and loyalty and really just having candid conversations with them about the stuff that they're facing. One day we even learned how to tie a tie. I've got like 7 of them, and so that's another thing that a lot of these kids don't do. Like I said, I was one of those guys raised by coaches, and I didn't have a dad to teach me that. A lot of our kids don't. John, just last night, we got done practice at 9:30. We practiced late. He's picking up a kid and taking him home at 9:30. It's walking home in the dark, pushing 10 o'clock. So all those things are really important. So, I didn't want to come up here and talk about zone blitzes and the buck sweep. I just kind of want to let you know the things that we're trying to do as a program. To build young men of character and to build guys outside of the football field. We definitely hope we make you proud on it, okay? And we hope we make you proud off of it. I'd like to thank you guys, okay, for everything that you've done for Redmond High School and all your efforts that all your time and effort and money that you've invested into these kids, our school and our facilities. This organization, guys, is one of the most respected in Redmond. Okay, you guys have a rich history. as Kiwanis, okay, from Don Rich. I spent every day at Don Rich Stadium. He was a Kiwani. I think that's an awesome connection. And so the events that you guys put on are top notch. My wife 1,000% loves that crab crack, and I cannot wait for Oktoberfest. So please, if nothing else, please keep those two. So I guarantee that we'll keep it happy. I'd love for each and every one of you guys to come out and support our team. Like I said, we have a jamboree tomorrow night that starts at 6, and then we're fortunate that 4 of our first 5 games are at home this year. Last year we had 2 home events. It felt like we were road warriors the entire time, and so we're hoping we can make Redmond proud in those first 4 or 5 games and really get things off to a great start. We'd love to have you there. Win, lose, or draw, I do feel like we're trying to do things the right way at Redmond. We're trying, we're committed to the kids just as much as we're committed to winning, and I hope that makes you guys proud. Like I said, because you guys have had such an investment in that school and in these kids and in this community. Then, more than anything else, just thank you for doing what you're doing, and I want you to know that we really appreciate it. So, thanks, guys. Yes, ma'am.
So you and so many of the other coaches at the high school level have become full-time fundraisers.
Oh, yeah.
What are some things that we can do as community members to support you guys? I know, of course, the golf and tournament and things.
So right now,
what are your needs, I guess?
We've had and yes, we have been full-time fundraisers. As you know, our budgets are limited at school, and they've done a ton to help us, but I do have an entire list I've shared with John of hey, we've got our needs for each year and our wants for each year. Right now we're in the middle of a fundraising project trying to get as many new helmets as possible. We're good for this year, but looking into the future, our helmets they cap out at 10 years, and so our kids right now are doing a fundraiser where essentially if they can raise enough money, we'll buy that helmet, and then if they graduate as a senior, that's something that they'll be able to take with them. And so Ridgeview they went through it for the last 4 or 5 years. Because when they opened up that school, they bought 100 helmets in bulk, and they were about to cap out. Ours is coming up right now. We're starting. I talk with Coach Taylor. One of our big things right now is improvements with Don Rich. We're looking at Don Rich is. We're fortunate we've got a great place to play, a great place for a community to gather, but we are looking at some capital projects that coming in. The Kiwanis paid for our big scoreboard that we have, and it's great. We're looking at improving that by possibly adding a video board to that at some point. And so that's one of the things that we were talking about, fundraising for over the next 2 years, and looking at that. The stands and press box, we were looking at a few upgrades there. And so, outside of like I said, the video board is our next capital project, and then I have a couple other things that I'd be more than happy to share with you later, and I can share those with John, when those things come up.
So are you guys starting to use the new external pads for concussion reduction with kids?
So the Guardian caps, we don't use them. I looked into them before. They're supposed to be about a 20% reduction in impact. I looked into them last year. To be honest, we just didn't have enough funding for that. Something like the NFL just started to use those during their practices. There's a lot of feedback on that, but to me, anything that if I can put it on a kid there in practice, that would be, we can reduce an injury or two. That would be great. It was going to be about I want to say it was a $3,000 rollout, and unfortunately because of COVID. So I took over last year for Coach Womack, who did a great job and won a lot of football games, but he wasn't able to fundraise. A lot of our fundraising is door to door, or some of the other stuff. So we were really behind. We were really far behind the curve, and thankfully, like I said, because we've invested a lot of time in it and done all that, we're in a spot now where we're going to be able to meet our needs this year, and we're able to look forward to some of those capital projects.
You guys went out and said to somebody who's looking to sponsor something like that, and said, "Hey, you can put your names on the side of this, $3,000 to reduce concussions by 20%, I'd pay for it.
Okay.
Not even playing this.
Yeah.
I would commit to that right now.
Okay.
So like, it needs to happen for the kids. Like, you say it like that, people will be all over it.
Yeah. No, right. I mean, like I said, I don't have it right here. I presented it to our parent group when we were trying to do our fundraising. We had our list of, like, essentially this was our needs, this was those things, and gave it like a, hey, this is our hierarchy of things that we need to just be able to get on the field, you know. And so so when we did our fundraising this year, that's where we're at. Next year, I mean, I would love to do something, and I can definitely, I'm more than happy to take your number because that would be great. So yeah. Yes, sir.
How many of the coaches are on the staff at the school?
So I want to say off the top of my head, we have about 6 of the 10 coaches on campus. That is one thing. Miss Haugen she's been great for our program and great for our school. So she's really made a commitment to hiring coaches. Last year we were able to bring Coach Rediger. He's a full-time math teacher. We were able to bring him into the fold. Coach Lavender, our defensive coordinator, and she's been able to hire, like, so he doesn't have a teaching license, but she brought him as our office manager, which is awesome for kids because, you know, they can go by that office anytime and they're talking to Coach Lav and doing those things. We brought in another coach just about 2 weeks ago. Coach Gertis, he's our special teams coordinator, former Redmond High grad, and he'll be our campus security monitor. So along with making a commitment to bringing in what I call extra value candidates, people that are not, you know, teachers that aren't leaving at 3 o'clock. They're committed, they're invested, they're coaching basketball, they're doing the drama club sponsorships, they're doing Key Club, they're doing all of those things. You know, she's really made that a priority, and so she's really helped us out. 4 years ago, I was the head coach at Redmond, and it was me and Coach Davis. We were the only 2 coaches on campus, and it was a struggle, I mean, to say the least. But she's really kind of helped to push that forward and to help us out. So, yes, ma'am.
And on the Don Ridge Stadium, is it just football that plays on that field, or do you guys? I felt like there was soccer or something.
Yeah, so I mean, football, boys, girls, soccer, our track and field, all that. So we rolled out that was one of the things that we rolled out this year, and was our corporate sponsorship program. You know, I know Brian was able to take advantage of that, and I'm super thankful for that. And you know, we essentially offered sponsorships at different tiers. You know, we have like a Panther level sponsor, a gold level sponsor, and a maroon level sponsorship. And we're putting out a souvenir game day program, which is really like it's a memento for the kids, but it's also it's a way that we can give back and offer advertising to businesses. And so, you know, anybody that's at the Marine level, they get an ad in our program. You know, we give them essentially a swag package, and then there's a spot on our sponsorship poster. So at least we're able to. Our goal is to be able to offer something in return for you know, businesses that want to help sponsor us and donate in that. We're able to offer signage this year, and so, you know, actually between now and our first home game on September 2nd, I've got about 20 big signs to put up. So they're really big, and so they're 4x8s, and so me and Jason Crane were talking about that and how we're going to get all those up. But you know, if a business purchases that's up all year long for all of our sports, which is very cool. So I'm sorry.
Follow up to what Noah was saying.
Yes.
Is it too late to jump on board for this year, or are you just focusing in on next year?
For
fundraising for
No, absolutely. So like I said, we're right now we're in the middle of our biggest fundraiser of the year. And so, and that's it's a donation-based fundraiser for our kids. And so what we've given them is essentially a calendar to fill out, and so they need a donation a day, you know, between the 1st of August and the 31st of August. That can be $1 for the first day or $31. And so they're all actively trying to go out and fill those calendars, and if they do, what we're using that money for specifically is to upgrade our helmets, you know. And so we've got a lot of helmets they're just old, you know, and so they're still rated high, they're still safe, but they're old and they need to be replaced. And if we have the opportunity to upgrade those, which, we'll reduce head injuries, reduce concussions. We're going to go ahead and do that. So that's been our priority this year with that. And so they're all on board with that. We did unfortunately end our sponsorship program. We didn't end it, but I had to get the programs out and I had to get the signs made and everything created. So we're not doing any more corporate sponsorships this year, but that will open up in the spring, probably around like May or June. And I can send that out to John and send that out to everybody else if you have a business that would like to get on board, because that's been a huge, like I said, we were pretty deep in the red, and that program and the businesses that have jumped onto that allowed us to get back in the black and start getting things and building our program. And so it was a good deal. Yes, sir.
Who's in our league this year?
So right now they've reunited the old Intermountain Conference. So it's us, Ridgeview, so the 2 Redmond schools, obviously, and then all the 4 Bend schools: Bend, Summit, Caldera, and Mountain View. With the addition of Caldera, what that essentially did was it dropped the projected enrollments of the Bend schools, and so we were able to kind of get back together regionally. So we're it's one of those, there's a lot of good there. It's definitely going to be a competitive year for us and Ridgeview and everybody else in the mix. We think we can go toe to toe with all those guys, and so we're looking forward to it. And we're also looking forward to the fact that our parents don't have to travel 2.5 hours to go to Eugene nothing against Eugene, you know what I mean? But like, it's a tough hike for a lot of parents to watch games, and so hopefully that increases our revenue at the stadium and increases the amount of participation and support that we see. So it should be great. So, yes, sir.
Who else will you be playing this year?
So in addition to that, we've got a very tough and competitive schedule. I can tell you that. We start off, our opening week is against Hood River Valley. They were the league runner-up for the last 2 years, and they've made the quarterfinals both year. So that's our opening game. Then we travel to Pendleton the week of the roundup. Pendleton right now is probably the number 1 ranked team in 4A, so we're going to square off against them. And then we come back and we play. We have Crook County. Crook County, I'm hoping we can go ahead and they're going to come out to compete. It's a rivalry game for them. And then we have Glencoe. So those are our first 4 weeks before our league opponents. So it should be a fun season. We have a team right now. We have really, because of COVID, our senior class is very small, but our junior class is huge. And so we're going to be a junior-led team, and we're hoping those guys can step up. If it can, that crystal ball is going to look real good. So I'm hoping they get it done. So, yes, sir.
Yeah, I think what would be great is if we could just see a lot of people come.
Yeah.
There's a great big yellow reserve seating in the middle of the stadium that a lot of you people who are in this room paid for seats there. So it'd be great to see if you can't make it to the games, send somebody in their place, because we'd love to fill the stadium.
Yeah, absolutely.
So is that
People tailgate before games?
They have like last year we did like a dedicated tailgate night, and it was awesome. Yeah, besides a little bit of rain, it was a good deal. But generally they don't have like. You can hang out in the parking lot and do a tailgate and barbecue and the whole deal. But one thing that Coach Taylor is trying to start this year is there's a VIP tent, and then they're going to have like some meal service and some other things that are going to go out of that. So I'll let John know, and he can disseminate it if that's available too. It's kind of like a tailgate without a tailgate, so it'll be a good deal. So, all right.
Okay, any other questions?
Just a comment, and in addition to potentially supporting Redmond High School football team, you could also potentially be supporting Redmond High School Key Club with their cotton candy sales.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, thank you guys. I really appreciate you guys letting me have the opportunity to come and meet you guys. And like I said, thank you.
We have a thank you gift for you. It is a custom Redmond Kiwanis pen.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I appreciate it.
Appreciate you.
All right.